What a wet and wild day on the charts, ladies and gentlemen. We got RFK coming up very shortly in just a few minutes live to address the nation on his next moves. Man, this guy, it sucks to see him drop out. I knew he wasn't going to win this round, but I love what he stands for. I'm very interested to see what he has to say. What is this guy walking into the studio? Unbelievable.
What's going on?
What is this? Hell? Where am I? Hades? Unbelievable. Nick?
Yeah.
You know?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. What are you doing? First of all, it's a very nice coloration on your shirt. Very nice.
Yeah. Red, white, and blue, baby.
Feeling good? Feeling good? How you feeling? How you doing?
Dude, I had a busy morning this morning, but then right before I came into the office, went to the range, shot my MP5.
You got to go to the range today?
I had to go to the range today.
I'm sick of your shit, man. I'm sick of your shit.
I'm going to
Just
post
out
a
there
video of
living
it
the
too.
dream. I'm fucking tired of this. Unbelievable. I'm sitting here. You know who else is out? Fucking Isaac's out there shooting hogs. So
what?
Yeah, I'm sitting here holding down the shit. You know,
He's hog hunting right now.
He's hog hunting, but you know what? God bless him. He bought an outfit with crypto gains. I think he even bought an AR with his crypto gains.
Did he really?
He did. He's putting his money to use, and he's out there killing some hogs now. So shout out to him.
I want to get your input though.
What's that?
If you want the 5.56 life, but you don't want the AR. Like,
well, for now you've lost me. you've lost me immediately. You know what are you talking about? You don't want.
Oh,
you
there
know?
it is. There it is. The silver bastard.
There's only one way to do things in the life. Okay.
But I'm looking at like a Galil. Am I wrong?
Nick, what if I need to change mags out with you? Okay, let's say, Nick, I need a mag, and you have me a fucking Galil mag. Really?
That's fair.
You know?
Fair. Well, but the Tavor takes AR mags, and it's a bullpup.
You know,
but I also want to stay AUG.
As long as you have compatible magazines, I don't care what you do. Okay? You can do whatever the hell you want as long as what's in your pack fits in mine and vice versa. That's what it's all about. So we got RFK. He's going to be live at 2 p.m. here.
I'm going to try and put us on TikTok real quick.
Oh, you're going to put us out on TikTok?
We'll try.
All right. Fine.
But you
take
it away.
Look at this. We got we got the live feed. I'm keeping an eye out on it for when it pops up. We're going to be watching that. But look at the charts, ladies and gentlemen. If you're out there trading with me on Blowfin, you're having some fun. I gave a signal today in the morning that we were going to pump, and my God, I made some good moves here. Made a 22% trade on my entire bag on a long I entered, and took the profits right around the peak of this. Now, I was waiting for some reason to come into this damn son of a gun here, but it is pumping hard. And really, with the juiciness of this, you can see this is the visible volume profile. It is indeed trying to punch up into that 63K region. I'm expecting some turbulence when we get up here in the 63K region. That the reason for, I'll go to the 4 hour to show you why and zoom in a little bit here. So the reason why I'm expecting some turbulence once we hit 63K is as follows. So you have a little bit of short-term resistance. It created just a very momentary shelf right there. and a slight momentary support there. It broke through, acted as resistance once again. Little stumble 2 moment here. So a lot of volume and a lot of changing of hands right there at the $63,000 level.
Interesting.
And we have freaking teleported through this little hole in the visible volume profile right there from the Fedi speech. Jerome Powell acting like a big old pussycat. Obviously, we are going to be going into that as well. Jerome Powell coming out a little soft this morning. Did you see Jerome Powell's comments about being scared about acting, bear or hawkish?
Yeah, is my mic on?
Oh yeah. Oh
It
yeah.
is?
You're
Okay,
on.
sweet. Yeah, so I missed most of Powell's speech, but I saw the chunk that mattered.
Yeah. The chunk that mattered.
The chunk that mattered. But I mean, 0.25%. I mean, it's 25 basis points is probably what the market's going to be pricing in here in the next little while. And
I fucking told you.
2 months ahead of time to pump the markets and have good economic numbers right before the election. I mean, all of this it's all working out.
Bad Fox, give us the juice, BTC. It's giving us the juice. A lot of my altcoin moves that I changed into are pumping really hard.
Yeah.
As well. So just on the trading side, you guys, how I'm playing this whole macro chaos, I am trying to be greedy about this entry point. I've been playing off of this trend line here for quite some time, and it's been working out really well. Basically, just taking the bodies of the bottom end here, and I'm trying to enter another long. I do not short bull trends. So what I'm trying to get here is a little bit of a slight pullback back into the 60K range. I do feel like we're going to hold above 60K over the weekend. I think this is our new shelf, what I'm looking at right here. Essentially this volume node right there,
Okay.
So
you don't think we're going to get to like 58 or something like that?
Yeah, well,
58s?
No, I think that we're actually going to hold at right about 60,500 right there. If you're looking for 58, Godspeed. You know what I mean? Things have gotten pretty frothy. I know a lot of people have been waiting for the pullback in a big way, but honestly, the comparison of Bitcoin pumping along with all these altcoins starting to wake up like crazy. I told Link, run. Don't you look back, Chainlink. Don't look back. It's okay, baby. So it's looking real fun out on the altcoin sector. Oh my God. Oh no, wait, this is just catching up to it. The comments are flowing in. Everyone's sitting here waiting for RFK to give his speech. We're right on the edge here now. This is the official report. RFK has officially withdrawn from the 2024 race, just as Donald Trump takes the lead on Polymarket. Polymarket polls have fucking nothing to do with this. These are completely cooked. There's CIA agents just dumping a bunch of your tax dollars into bets on Polymarket using VPNs. No big deal. You heard it here first. So, this is an official statement. RFK hereby withdraws as a candidate from the office of President of the United States for the 2024 general election. So now we're talking about this. This is the hope that I see going around town here. The dream team from Luis Armas. It's Lewis. Damn it.
Lewis, yeah.
I always want to say Luis.
I know.
Lewis with the A team highlight here. Just imagine this team. You got Trump and Vance, middle America's man. Trump, the savage from down under. I got some pretty scary news about Australia actually today too. So, gotta look into
the social credit score thing?
No, it's even worse. Actually.
How could the people? Okay.
It's even worse. Robert F. Kennedy on the team. Tulsi Gabbard on the team. Vivek Ramaswamy on the team. That would be bullish. And then Elon Musk to fire hundreds of thousands of useless federal employees. That's what we need. That's the kind of energy we need. Do you think he could have like a Twitter moment and just clear house on them? Don't you think?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm here for it. We need a cleansing. The tree of liberty is thirsty, my wonderful ladies and gentlemen. We're checking out on this. Still nothing meaningless. Leave him alone. I'm not going to tell you who he is. He's in the chat, and we might vote him in here.
I'm going to get him.
No, don't do it.
I'm coming for you.
Oh my God, this is the worst day.
For you.
But yeah, let's talk about the changes I made to my portfolio real quick.
Okay.
So what I did is I was sitting on tons of profits still in ICP. Right. I still do hold a pretty good bag. I think around $2 or $3 grand worth of ICP, but I took thousands of dollars more out of it and I put it into a couple key projects. Jupiter is my auxiliary Solana play here. Feeling very bullish on Jupiter waking up. I felt an opportunity zone, seeing it not having pumped yet. And here's the yearly. So we're basically at entry points for Jupiter. And I did rebuild the bag in this little trough at about 75 cents, 76 cents. So added more to my Jupiter. Yeah. And then I got near. I topped off the near. You know what I mean? It kind of gets me some near.
Yeah.
Now this one's been one of the more aggressive ones just on the day, but it's still not built out of its death trap here. So it felt real good getting near within the $3 range. I got it at like $3.90. So
nice.
Felt good about that. And then what else did I do? Ondo, topped off the Ondo bag. Feeling good about Ondo. Still stacking Ondo up by 9% today. Not bad as well. Getting it for 69 cents.
I was actually able to reduce my overall average buy position on Ondo.
Were you really?
I mistakenly bought it 3 times.
Well, okay. Things happen. Things happen.
But when I bought it, I bought roughly the same amount.
Well, why would you do that?
Because but I did it by accident. Like I bought Ondo like a couple months ago, and I bought like a couple hundred Ondo. Okay. And then like a couple weeks ago, I bought a couple hundred Ondo, but they were like the same amount of Ondo, but different dollar amount. Gotcha. So yeah, I did. I got a lot of Ondo now.
Well, I think you're going to be sitting pretty with Ondo, man.
Dude, I was on CoinStats this morning. I'm down so tremendously. Dude, don't we just wheel through like how down I am?
You may as well. Transparency is what we're about here. You know?
I do have 30% of my portfolio is in Bitcoin.
Okay.
I didn't know it was that much. I'm kind of shocked.
That's very conservative of you to do.
Yeah, by dollar amount, it is the biggest. And then it's Ethereum, and then it's Render. So that's where my biggest allocations are. My biggest losers, man, this is going to hurt a lot.
Just say it. It's okay.
Celestia.
Oh.
We're not going to talk about AVAX because that's like that's like from 22. So don't worry about that. Winter Token.
Winter Token?
Absolutely demolished on Winter Token. If I can get back to like halfway, I will pull out because I'm down 61% on Winter Token.
That's what she said. I had to.
Great show, guys.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm down 61% on Winter Token. I'm down 65% on Arbitrum.
Oh my God.
But if you look at when I bought ARB, like altcoins have gotten rushed, especially over the past 30 days.
But dude, that's why you got to have the baseline rule of
I know.
like fucking taking the profits, man.
I was in MP5 euphoria and I'm tonight I'm going to take profits. And literally, I've said this before, as I swiped my credit card, Drew goes, "Hey, did you see the market dumping?" And I'm like, "No." And it like Bitcoin went down like 7%. And I was like, "Well, I'll wait for it to come back."
Nope.
And here we are. Okay, this last but not least, let's see what other is really bad. Orai.
Orai.
O-R-A-I.
What
I'm
made
down
you get into
65% on that.
What is it the Oreo chain thing that you kept bringing up?
Yeah.
What is the
it's
deal
a good
with
project. Like if you look it up, it's great. We should look up Orai.
Okay.
O-R-A-I. But yeah, I am man, I'm hurting so bad right now.
You are heavily overexposed.
I'm heavily overexposed to crypto.
But it's pretty responsible of you to have 30% in Bitcoin. I have like 0.01% of my porportfolio in Bitcoin right now. I am heavily overexposed to Chainlink. Like it's still like 60 or 70%.
Whiz.
Dude, but I believe in Chainlink so much.
So do I. I don't have enough. And I could tell you what. Well, yeah, go to the 1 year. Go to the 1 year.
So
it hasn't been out for very long.
Yeah.
So I bought around like $12.
$12?
When that like channel right there. Not that, but like there in that middle channel in May. I'm like, yeah. So I got it for like $12. And now we're at $5.
You know what? C90 FTW just nailed it. My kids hold more Bitcoin than I do. How crazy is that?
That's bullish.
They're outpacing me in their Bitcoin holdings. They're the whales of my household as far as Bitcoin.
That's incredible.
You know, I had a good story I shared on the member stream. Last night, my son came to me and he's like, "Dad, tomorrow is ice cream day at school. I swear to God, I'm not going to get the red 40, Dad. I promise you." He literally said that. He's like, "If they show it to me, they give it to me, I'm going to throw it on the ground. I swear to God." But he needed $2, and I don't keep cash around. I don't have physical cash. I don't keep it. So I look to my daughter because she's more fiscally responsible with cash than I am. And I was like, here's the deal. Brooklyn, I need you to loan me $2 today. I'm going to give you $3 back tomorrow. You're going to make 50% interest over the course of one day.
Wow.
And she was able to run the math in her head. She figured it out. And then she scuttled to her room, got the $2, handed it over to me. Usury, you know what I mean?
Wow.
She's just
that's the original weapon of mass destruction for the desert people.
I'm kind of terrified of my daughter, honestly. She's gonna be a world dominating
force. Is she gonna be the Dagny Taggart of her generation?
Yeah, I call that Luna levels of APY. Yeah, it was. But she's my daughter, she likes to get crypto about half the time. The other half the time she gets cash, and she stows it away. She has a little bank and a little vault.
Amazing.
So she's learning good lessons out there. And the other things that I bought, just buying up all the pain, because there's something going on is that, this graph that I can actually tell the story with as well. Let's see here. So we got April. This is probably April. Look at that. April 11th. A bunch of these are good altcoins. If the tech's good, great. But they all went and died over the last 6 months after
even
that
render.
April peak. Yes, even
render.
Look
at the render chart. It's crazy, but yeah, this is...
So right here, though, this is where the lesson is. I was like, wow, my portfolio is very heavy right now.
Yeah.
I'd like a new vehicle. I would like a sewing shop. I would like a bunch of other things. Yeah. And so we did it. We took tons of profit off of AVAX and ICP in that realm. And now that the price has reset, I'm out here shopping. I talked about, I stacked up more Ondo, more Jupiter. And now I also stacked up more Aerodrome. Let's see what Aerodrome's up to on the day. Not much, just 6%, nothing much yet. Aerodrome, honestly, this looks like it's coiled and ready to just rip your face off.
All of them are.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's like in November, like late November, this Thanksgiving, guys, has the potential to where you can be the smuggest son of a bitch at Thanksgiving.
It's going to feel great too.
Oh man. Like when you're sitting on, when you had $10,000 this time last year, and now it's worth $115,000, bruh.
Yeah. We have a special guest coming on the show here. We got William. We met out in Bitcoin Nashville. I wonder if he's in the...
I see him. I see a little face down there.
Yeah, he's drinking stuff. Should I catch him off guard?
He's waving at us now.
All right,
so
let's go.
Is RFK up yet?
We're gonna do it. No. What up, William? How you doing, man?
Oh, Will. What's up?
Good, man. How you doing, Nick? How you doing, Drew?
Dude,
I liked the show so far. You guys got a good back and forth. It's nice.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah, man. I mean, I remember we had a great time out in Nashville. And really the markets, they're feeling good right now. ETH has not been performing as well as everyone would have hoped with this ETF release. So
no.
Yeah, I mean, have you been tracking any of the ETF flows into ETH and then the Grayscale ETH Trust? Like, what the hell's going on with ETH? Why is it lagging behind so much, do you think?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is like, because they'd never put on staking for the Ethereum ETF, if you're an institutional investor and you're like, hey, I want to get exposure to the cryptocurrency space, I'm going to get Bitcoin. And then you look at Ethereum and they're like, all right, well, what's the pitch for Ethereum? And they just go, oh, it's a smaller market cap Ethereum as compared to a smaller market cap Bitcoin, but like there's not too much different from it. In terms of like an institutional investor's mind, they go, okay, cool, this is a riskier asset. I already think Bitcoin's risky enough. I'm just going to buy Bitcoin. However, if you go to an institutional investor and you're like, hey, there's another crypto asset here you can buy, and they go, okay, cool, what's different? You earn interest in it. Now you got it. Now you got something, right?
That's a good damn point right there. That is a very good point.
And so the Ethereum ETF flows, we've just seen nothing really good coming in. It's been really small, like low tens of millions if you have like a good strong inflow day from BlackRock. But then also with Grayscale, as I'm sure you guys are already aware, but for those of you in the audience who may not know, Grayscale had an Ethereum trust and it got converted into the ETF. And that Ethereum trust had been in operation for, I think, 4 years. And so there was a lot of Ethereum in there from speculators. So when that got turned into an ETF, they've just started selling. It's the same thing that happened with the Bitcoin ETF. Exact same thing. And so you have this big pool of Ethereum from speculators trying to sell. And you have a very, very, very small pool of inflow and interest from institutional investors coming in. So, you do the math on that. And I've been telling people from day one, the Ethereum ETF turning on without staking, it's going to be a real downer for Ethereum for a while.
Yeah.
And the good news, though, is that Grayscale started bleeding like fucking crazy at first. Sorry, I don't know if you guys like swearing on your show or not.
We
I'm
swear
from
all the
Boston,
time.
so I just let it rip.
We're here.
Yeah,
for
okay. It started fucking selling off like crazy. And so everyone was getting really excited that Grayscale was just going to like melt its giant pile of Ethereum super fast and was going to let Ethereum run. But it doesn't seem to be the case. It's been just kind of bleeding off like $20 million a day for the most part out of Grayscale. And there just hasn't been any interest to come in and buy it up.
Dude, the crowd is realizing you literally have the Giga Chad jawline going on. I mean, this is incredible. Likeness is right there. This is incredible.
Look at that. Guys, he doesn't need to mew. He invented mewing.
Dude, I get that in my comment section, and I still don't even know what it means entirely. People are like, oh, look, he's mewing, and I'm like typing, and I'm like, I don't know what this is. I don't know what it is.
This is when TradFi meets the crypto degeneracy.
Yeah,
you know
I wish you could see the YouTube chat right now. It's all of our Giga Chad emojis just filling up. What's your X handle real quick? I want to tag you on the show.
My X handle, well, I never use it, and I'm pretty sure it's, let me pull it up just to make sure, it's Marcus Manlius. Which is my gamer tag on PlayStation.
See, it fits the mold, man. You fit the mold now, and you're giving some good insight. I wanted to really kind of hone down on what you've seen with the ETH ETF. Now, on this ETH ETF, do you think that there is a potential we see a staked ETF availability for Ethereum within this bull market, or is that just kind of hopium for people that are holding ETH bags wanting it to rip?
Yeah, that's what you need for it to rip, and I don't think you're going to see anything anytime soon, particularly with at least while Gary Gensler is head of the SEC, right? You're not going to have it. Like we just saw Gary Gensler turn down the Solana ETF saying it's a security, which, by the way, is batshit crazy. If Bitcoin's not a security, if Ethereum's not a security, if XRP is not a security, Solana's not a security. But, Gary Gensler's been out against proof-of-stake cryptocurrencies since the get-go. So if Gary Gensler gets replaced with whoever wins the election, there's a chance that even if Kamala Harris wins, that Gary Gensler could be replaced. There's a window of opportunity that opens because that Larry Fink at BlackRock wants this to happen. And if Larry Fink wants something to happen, it fucking happens. Yes. So it's only a matter of time. I feel like the engineers at BlackRock are just like waiting to pull the latch down to turn staking on. They're just waiting for the go ahead.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But that could take a while.
And that might also hinge on the election too. You know what I mean? It also might hinge on the election. Now, as far as the markets are going right now, I mean, Bitcoin has shown extreme strength this morning. I mean, yes. I'm pretty much terrified to put any shorts in right now on Blowfin where we trade at. Are you laddering into the market? Are you waiting for a big pullback to get good entry points? Like, how are you playing this current market environment?
Yeah, so I have a bunch of money that's actually in a short against Amazon stock because I think now we've gotten the news that the stock market's actually going to tip over. So fuck you, Bezos. But with crypto, I'm still holding Jupiter. That's been staking. 50% of my portfolio is Bitcoin. I actually liquidated my 401k and bought Bitcoin when it was at $6,800 a while ago.
Very big.
So which has been phenomenal. So I have a good chunk of Bitcoin. But I got shaken out of the market just after the Japanese carry trade because I didn't know how much more was going to unravel. I was really worried about a recession. I was like, cool, let me step back, let me de-risk. I was in profits though because
oh god, I killed him.
Mutable X way down also. So what I've been doing the past 3 days is I've been averaging back into Aerodrome. Super bullish on the base ecosystem. I'm currently up. Let's see, what am I up from my average buy position? I am up 9.4% on that right now. It's about 10% of my total net worth right now.
10% of your total net worth? Holy fuck, man. I mean, that's I've made really good money off of Aerodrome so far. What makes you? So I give all my reasons why I'm bullish on Aerodrome. What makes you kind of bullish on Aerodrome?
Yeah, I mean, like I simply put, it's just like, do you believe that Coinbase is going to be the kingmaker of crypto? If yes, you might want to invest in their baby Base. And what's the most important piece of infrastructure on Base? right now, that's Aerodrome. That could change in the future, but right now, Aerodrome is the key piece of infrastructure to make Base go. And if you think that Coinbase has the power and influence, which they do, in order to ensure the success of Base, they need to ensure the success of Aerodrome. And the TVL, the amount of money that people are putting on it in this corrective period, has been going up. So that tells me a lot of fundamental strength. And then I think as Coinbase gets more people onto Base, that gets more people onto Aerodrome, price goes up.
I love it. I love it. And, you know, because like my initial thought was like seeing the DOJ going after Binance so hard, and then all of a sudden Coinbase is custodying these, you know, million plus Bitcoin at this point for all these ETFs. Like it just feels like this unstoppable force that they've allowed Coinbase to turn into. So that
very much so.
Yeah, seeing the Aerodrome underlay. And now, are there any? You mentioned Aerodrome and Jupiter, which honestly only the most, you know, Giga Chad-ish folks have been calling out. So you're right there with us there. Is there any other projects that might compete or even get close to, you know, having the same sort of potential upside this bull market, in your opinion?
Well, when you think about Aerodrome and Jupiter, I think is like, I'm pretty sure Jupiter's in the top 100 and Aerodrome's like top 200. So those are pretty small market caps in very good positions to succeed. I mean, Ondo will do really well also, but that's like the 65th largest coin right now, I think.
Yeah.
So when I think about a coin that it has a air quotes low mid cap market cap, I can't think of many other coins that would probably do better than Aerodrome right now because of the relationship with Base. At least right now. That could change if we see, you know, liquidity continue to flood into Tron, like what we're seeing. If the Tron ecosystem starts getting like Solana levels of rich, maybe there's something in Tron.
I feel like
I
Tron
doubt it
is
too.
a season. It's like this season. It's like what's a good comparison to this fly by the night feeling for Tron that you got? I mean, Nick, am I fudding Tron too bad? Is it gonna be?
I don't think anyone can FUD Tron too much.
Okay. We just see that
it deserves it because their stablecoin USDD is a nightmare in waiting.
Have you been looking at that? Because there's been rumors that it's not backed enough. Like, what have you found on looking at the stablecoin behind it?
Well, 2 days ago, they got rid of the $750 million of Bitcoin that backed USDD. So now it's more than 60% backed by TRX, Tron now. So if Tron goes down, also I love this because Justin Sun came out and he's like, "Don't worry, guys, there's nothing to worry about." And I was like, "Oh fuck, we should be so worried." Like, oh no.
Whenever there's a Steady Lads tweet, that's when you know it's time to get out.
Oh yeah, like that. What was that? Wasn't that from like Sam Bankman-Fried or whatever?
No, it was Do Kwon.
Do Kwon.
That's right. That's right.
Steady Lads deploying more capital
for Terra Luna.
Yes.
Not a good look. And then not a good feeling it gave me. So that's some good shit you're laying out there. And as far as you know, the distance that this market can go, I know that you kind of have a really good beat on the traditional markets, and there is no arguing that it does appear that Bitcoin and the rest of crypto at large, outside of these idiotic meme coins that go to the moon and then die overnight, are tied to Wall Street. So do you have any worries of a Black Friday 1929 type crash coming up in the market in the next year, 2 years? Like, what is your beat as far as that? Because people are starting to worry we're getting overextended and we're getting to the upper end of a channel of ascension there. So what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think they should be worried because never before in the U.S. economy have we had an air quotes soft landing. If you don't know what that means, anybody, it's when you're fighting inflation, the central bank is, the Fed, and then they're able to bring down inflation by cooling the economy without breaking the economy, right? Without unemployment soaring. We've never been able to find that balance before. Nope. And now we're in the situation where inflation is eating away at the amount of money that people have to invest and spend on things. That then makes sales numbers in the US go down, but that hasn't happened yet. And then if that happens, companies start firing people, unemployment skyrockets, boom, recession. We've also had various indicators that have started to flip that signal, hey, somewhere between 2 to 6 months, there could be a recession. Jerome Powell just came out earlier today and hinted that a soft landing is potentially possible. Yes. So, you know, no one really knows. So no one really knows. But I would say that the odds are high enough that you as an investor and trader should be looking to take defensive positions, but still make sure you're exposed to the market, because we could go up for 6 months, 8 months before something really, really breaks and collapses, right? So make sure you're exposed to the market, but always think about, how can I make sure that if we do, really go down the next day, am I still in a position where I'm whole and okay? So that's my advice to people right now, because, we could have a big rally, and if you're not in the market now, you could get totally hosed. And you want to be able to ride that train up. But yeah, when the market turns over, you want to make sure that you've secured some of those gains and profits.
Yeah,
So
I have a hard line date. I am shutting the hatch to my bunker on November of 2025, and I am watching out for it. There's a bunch of different reasons why. You can go even down to the fourth turning, or you can look at the historical overexpenditure of, comparison to the .com bubble to where we are with this NVIDIA bubble. And some people like we have a channel, a friend of the channel, Hobus, that's also a hedge fund manager. And, he has been warning till the cows come home about the revenue not matching the speculative valuation for NVIDIA. And now NVIDIA is like, the market cap is the size of multiple countries' GDPs combined, right? So there's a lot to unwind within there. Not to mention the yen carry trade situation that you did just mention. I've been warning about this shit for like 2 years, and they're going to be able to keep patching it with band-aids on a bullet wound, in my assertion, over the course of the next year. But once the elections in the United States are panned out, and once the commercial real estate market really has to begin paying the piper, essentially, for these businesses no longer being interested in these gargantuan buildings, and they're selling for 10 cents on the dollar right now. Those pains aren't felt for about 6 months to a year in the macro markets. They can act like everything's fine for about that amount of time. And there's been a lot of warnings about 2026 from multiple different angles that make me just basically, I am literally selling all the assets and putting it into real estate, weaponry, tanks, and diesel production systems. Nick, okay, I've heard a lot of FUD about making gasoline, so I'm going to create my own.
Gotta have a diesel.
Yeah, I'm gonna make a diesel production facility.
Yeah. That's pretty sweet.
Let's see here. 64K incoming. God,
yeah.
The markets are so frothy right now. But
I know the markets are so hungry for green.
Dude, it's been so wonderful though. And seeing our altcoins waking back up. There is a huge lesson I've been trying to instill, is just take profits, change your life for the better while you have them, smoke the profits if you got them, folks. Because I'm not in crypto to basically watch my portfolio go to the moon, take a snapshot, get a couple Twitter followers, and then write it back down to where it started. So that's not the feel. Now you have had some great insight. Again, tell the people where they can find you on X, if you stream on YouTube, because I really like your insight, and I think that people should keep up with you, because your top 3 picks are honestly in my top picks as well. I think you got a good head on your shoulders. Where can they keep up with you at, man?
I agree. You have the same coins I do.
Well, and
you're great.
Thing is, I didn't plan it. I had no idea. Smart. That's the thing is, I didn't tell you what I hold, and then you come out with different ways that you came to the same conclusion. You know what I mean? So, because
but
I like to be outward about it. I like to be open about what I'm holding.
Yeah. But if anybody wants to find me, I post most stuff over on TikTok. You can find me at coin_guide. Type in William Watson in crypto. You'll find me there too. You can get me on X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it, at Marcus Manlius. No, it's a little different. Gamer tag. I made it when I was like 12 or whatever, and just hasn't changed.
You can change it, and you can get in our spaces. We'll help you grow your X account, bro. Come on.
That's true.
You know what? I might need that, because you guys know I still have a Yahoo email I use. So I'm old fashioned with this tech. I get confused too easy, man. I got these gray hairs now.
Oh my god.
I just get confused.
Stream's over. That's it. Well, man, I appreciate you joining us, and I'm definitely looking forward to having you back on. It looks like we're getting ready to punch over to RFK going live here. So I'm going to let you go for the time being. We're going to hear what is the future for Robert F. Kennedy Jr. And I look forward to having you back on, brother.
Yeah.
Very much.
Yeah, man. Looking forward to being back on. Thanks for having me.
All right, brother.
Take it easy.
Man, that guy is fucking awesome.
Good.
Dude.
I'm gonna go over to TikTok and put his tag in there.
Yeah,
So
do it up, man.
Yeah.
We got. I'll just do a quick live check on.
I think he actually pushed the time again to 2:45.
What?
We may be streaming all day today.
Well,
but that's fine because we've got 300 people watching us on X right now. I don't know how many on YouTube.
I got till like 3:30, and then I'm gonna go punch the bag like I've never punched the bag before.
Yeah.
You know what I
be
mean?
done by then.
I'm starting to feel good. My squat's coming back.
Yeah.
You know, my body is like I feel stronger than I have ever been in my life.
I know.
Now. I could make that Bane imagery get pretty close. I'm bulking up now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get back up because I was at like 250. But I was I had some fat to lose. So I trimmed it down to 220 and I got my abs, but the upper body is still strong. And now I can eat a bunch more food. So I'm feeling damn strong. So yeah, here we go. We're waiting for RFK to take the stage. Looks like 245. They pushed it back. They keep edging us. Unbelievable. But I will mention that I did pick up some Flux the other day. Flux is another one I'm feeling good about, folks. The reason for that is it's actually got partnership with NVIDIA, and it is looking to be one of the power players in AI. So where I get my Flux at is 2bit. I have a link down in the description, and we have some pretty good promotions going on for new users that sign up for 2bit, and they respect your privacy. It's a fantastic exchange, and I'm only interested in aligning with exchanges that protect our users' privacy in that regard, if you know what I mean. So there's all kinds of good stuff to be found on 2bit. I am going to be utilizing it for my spot entries into Flux, but also interested in these trading bot deals that they go on because my wife keeps telling me about getting on these
those bots are
trading
good.
bots. You like the bots?
If you use them correctly, yeah, they can be absolutely fantastic.
Ooh, dude, shout out to 2Pump Crypto Chump for the memberships, bro. Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you very much for supporting this channel.
Love that.
I was feeling a little angry today. Like, I just feel like the words that I say on this show are getting us blacklisted off of, you know, and it's like, but I can't stop saying what's actually going on. Like, how are they going to just stop me from, you know, saying what other people can say with no problem? If they're pro hyena, they can say whatever the hell they want.
It sucks. We do need more likes though. There's 200 people watching us right now on the YouTubes, but we don't even have 100 likes yet. Guys, get in there, hit that like button. Shout out to Rumble. We got people watching us on Rumble. We're continuing to grow now that we have an actual Honest to God channel.
We fucked up on Rumble.
But we actually have 300 people watching us live on X. Oh, no, 400 people now.
400?
400 people on X. Guys, repost this. Repost it, guys.
Yeah.
Hit the like
button. If you're
button.
on Twitter, like comment, you know, comment that the comments really, really help us on Twitter. Hannah is fighting for her life in the UK now. So, you know, and that's, God, what's his name?
Leo?
I am so terrible. I
stole
told
her.
Leo, you better keep your shit together, man. Keep her alive out there because
if Leo, Leo's got I mean, he does like guns. He does say dumb shit like diversity is our strength, but I think it's just.
Does he really?
Yeah, I think it's just the program. Like, he can't help himself.
Well,
but
he's British.
He needs to watch more.
Watch more Basement.
Well, he needs to watch more. But there's another guy. His name is Harry Bobinson.
Oh yeah, I get your flow now. Good old Tommy boy. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, and you know, with the other things going on, let's see where. Oh my God, we are over $63,000 on Bitcoin right now.
I just said, I'm longing. I'm being
no,
irresponsible.
don't go long. Dude, you're going long right now.
Yeah, I did.
Oh my God,
Nick, we're gonna break 64, right? Like that's the volume, right?
This is the volume profile, but I'm expecting some pain here just in the short term. Like this, with this level of pump, I'm probably going to have to higher my expectations of where we can fall down to, because I am a greedy entry point trader. So now in this given environment, I'm looking for like a 61.5 entry point. But
yeah, but like, what's that top of that range? The
top of the range. Yeah, this is 64.5. 64.5.
All right, that's what I'm gonna set my.
So if you can get, I mean, you are teleporting through the volume emptiness there, so that is the thing. You might get there. Just put a tight stop loss, would you? For God's
I
sake.
don't do that.
Unbelievable. While we're waiting for RFK, I don't think he's taking the stage yet. Let's slam through the rest of this. Tether's starting to print a shitload of stable coins. So that's great. Nice to see this. And this is probably playing into why we see such a juicy ass Bitcoin pump right now.
Juicy ass.
Yeah. Global liquidity pumping to 80.99, and I believe that is in the trillions. So now we are breaking above the high, and things are looking pretty damn frothy. Look at that velocity of the
How is that even
there.
possible? Wait, what chart is this?
This is world global liquidity.
No, but like the time frame. Like what is the chart?
The chart doesn't give me a time. This is from Marty Party. It doesn't give me a time frame. I believe. Let's see here. It looks like it's in the days. It looks like this is the daily, just by the rate of it. That's a hell of a velocity, though. They're turning the printers on across the world.
Did that.
Nick gets stopped out 10 out of 10. Man, that is
quite often. This is why I never leverage trade with big bags, guys. It's like I cap myself at $100.
Look, and this is we got people out here saying that the great Martius. This has got to be a joke. Bitcoin update, large expanding wedge, extremely bearish. Yep. According to this shit, we are going to break down.
Yeah, that's a pattern that happens a lot.
Negative $10,000 incoming. So we're going to lose it.
Guys, wait. JT says, hey, Nick, we're going to see you guys at the Villages weekly Zoom meeting soon. I think so, but I think we're also planning a trip.
Yeah, we should just go down there, don't you think?
Are we set? Did you talk to Dag?
Dag wants to send us down there.
Yeah, Villages live.
Yeah, I mean, we got to get our own golf cart, though, too. We got to have our own golf cart.
We got to rent a golf cart. We got to get hall passes so we can make love to the sweet grannies down there. Oh my God,
that is
Did
not
I say
happening.
That out
loud? Dude.
Look,
bro.
Grannies need love.
Well, like you can give them a hug or something.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
What do you think I'm talking about?
Nick, I'm going to the Villages and it's going to be...
Both of my grandmothers are dead, so I need a new grandma. All right.
Oh my God. Now,
I can't be bribed with cookies.
Jesus.
I make a mean margarita. All you grannies down there, if you can bake me some cookies, I will make you a strawberry margarita.
You are gonna give me a heart attack up here. Like I feel like I'm gonna have a heart attack up here. You're talking about.
Wait, Bad Fox?
You just gave them exactly what they need.
What do you mean?
To get the real hug from you.
Yeah, but Bad Fox is a granny? Girl, be my grandma. Let's go.
Oh my God, what? If we had the button, we went.
This show is off the rails. It's Friday. The way it should be.
Yeah, dude. I keep looking at that Bitcoin
There's
chart.
over 500,000 people watching RFK stream right now.
What?
Of a podium.
Yeah, here's the shot of it. I mean, it's not that exciting.
Well, I think it was Sin Diesel dropped that he is going to endorse Trump. Like he did it in a court filing.
Yeah, I mean that's been the rumor, but he's got that liberal wife of his. Like the wife
Cheryl?
is from. Is Cheryl gonna rug us at having something nice?
Cheryl is a beautiful woman. His VP pick though, Nicole Shanahan.
I don't trust.
Who is a hottie? I'm just gonna go ahead. Everyone's thinking it. She's hot. She said they weren't going to endorse Trump unless he admitted that Operation Warp Speed was a failure.
I mean, that's bullish.
Which he will never do. I don't know why she said that. Like,
well, no, there's a potential because Trump called RFK in that leaked phone call, and Trump talked about that being a failure. I mean, that's a potential. He could rescind that because he actually came out with the video. We will not comply. The mandates, they didn't work, all that stuff. It actually, well, I think Trump understands that people like me, we're fucking pissed about it. We looked at that as tyranny. Yep. Even though I voted for him, I was like, you follow through and you make this law, you have just made the worst kind of enemy, and that is the American patriot. So, I know, because we're behaved until it is time to fully unbehave.
Oh, dude. You know? My behavior with every round that I put through my MP5 this afternoon.
God, I'm so jealous.
My patriotism increased. And I love this. Hang on. Shout out. JT says, I got your cart. Ooh. Awesome. 2Pump Crypto Chump says, what color loofah will you rock in the Villages? I don't know if that's code for something.
It is code for something.
I need more information on the loofah thing. But there were two African-American females in the boxes next to me at the range. And they had just bought their concealed carry weapons. and they were trying them out for like the first time. The guy, they had been like 2 or 3 times, but one of them had a stovepipe, and she came over and she tapped me on the shoulder. She said, "What do I do?" And I said, "Don't worry. This is totally normal. I've heard you. You've been putting a lot of rounds down. So on a small gun like this, it'll stovepipe." So I showed her how to clear the stovepipe.
Okay.
She called me.
It's probably from limp-wristedness, honestly. That's usually what it's from.
That is. They had like it was like a really small like Kimber or something very, very small. So it was like a lot of overheating going on too. She called me sweet thing, which that's how you know you're in with the African Americans, when they call you sweet thing. Thank you so much, sweet thing. And then the other lady had a similar stovepipe, but it was inverted.
Okay.
It was pinched. But
shout out Crypto Mans. I'm dropping the super chat. Crypto Rally and ATL at Wicked Wolf tonight, 6 p.m.
Crypto Rally?
Oh shit. Okay.
I need more information about this.
Yeah, hopefully it doesn't turn into a Palestinian. Oh God, I just said it.
Guys, we had a great show.
Yeah, it's been real, you guys. And we're still waiting for RFK. I literally might have to be on air like all day to catch this, but I'm gonna catch it.
Where our viewership is at all-time highs right now.
So you're still doing crypto? Yeah, I think it's all going to zero eventually. What are you supposed to say to something that says this to you? I mean, Nick, what would you say if you're at Thanksgiving this year, and uncle or whoever it is, crypto's going to zero? How do you retort? What would you say to them immediately?
What I like to do, I like to define terms. Well, first of all, someone says it's all going to zero. I'll take my drink and I'll throw it in their face. So that's how you kind of level set, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's your mom or your dad.
Yeah.
You just throw your drink in their face.
Yeah.
And then say,
that really starts like the calm conversation.
Yeah. Going to zero what? Like, what do you mean? Like $0? Well, I think the dollar is trash. The dollar already is going to zero. So if I need to understand what you're talking about. Now, is Bitcoin going to impoverish me? No. And then I'll kind of go into a different spiel. But
okay.
I like to define terms and say, what do you mean by going to zero?
Yeah. I would have to say, how's your dollar doing?
Yeah. Because you know what else is going to zero? The dollar. It's lost 97% of its purchasing power since 1913. Yeah. You throw that little statistic out and everyone shuts the fuck up really quick.
Pretty much. And that's like, I like to start people's journey in crypto with a true, actual understanding of fiat currency.
Yeah.
Or like C90, you could just say, it's going to go to negative $10,000 because I saw a random graph on crypto Twitter from a troll. So I'm going to actually owe $10,000. And that's how it's going to be, Uncle.
Yeah. But it's unregulated, Drew. Bitcoin's unregulated and it's really volatile. That's usually the follow-up, right? It's like, well, there's no oversight. And I said, well, it gets really awkward once you start talking about this. What about the oversight for the 2008 financial crisis, for the LIBOR scandal, for savings and loan scandal, for Bernie Madoff, for Lehman Brothers, for Bear Stearns? Those were highly regulated entities that impoverished millions of people.
Well, and that's pretty deep. What you could do is be like, hey, you thought you could retire by now, didn't you?
Yeah.
I don't know. And then
that's
like,
a good one.
Fuck, I have to go to work on Monday. You're right. I'm 70 years old and I'm a Walmart greeter. Even though I spent
not by choice.
Not by choice.
And if you're a kindly old 70-year-old man just as a Walmart greeter, that's fine. But if you're doing it to get by, bro.
Dude, it's depressing to see, like, for instance, I know engineers. My family is made up of engineers and military folk. And they, gave 25 years, 30 years to a company and they can't retire. They have degrees from the best universities and they put everything down for organizations that gave no fucks about them. And it really, it woke up a lot of them, I think, to the fact that there is this rat wheel, this hamster wheel that they're trapped within. And they've been good servants to corporations that don't give a damn about them. And now they're just continuing to have to work at whatever type of job will take them. And it is a painful situation but it's, at this point, I feel like pouring salt in the wound. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that's the only way to really wake them up.
Yeah, for sure.
I just feel like that's what we got to do at this point.
Yeah.
While we're waiting here,
we got 5 minutes. I do have can you pull up that one story that I pulled?
Which one?
Did you pull the stuff that I put in?
Oh yeah, you're damn right I did, Nick. Which one do you want here? I got Warren flustered.
Well, that
Elizabeth Warren.
Well, yeah, I mean we got time. This is a story in and of itself. Can we talk about gay nukes?
Oh yeah, sure. Let's bring up the gay nuke story. This is really fun. Let's see here. Oh yeah, here we go. This is from Mario Narfal talking about in a bizarre move. I'm not going to say that name.
Sneha.
Is that Sneha? That doesn't make okay. And they're in Biden's cabinet.
Well, there you go.
Biden's new nuclear security appointee believes that queering nuclear weapons is a way to enhance U.S. security and prevent Kim and Putin from blowing up the world. Nair insists that integrating queer theory and DEI initiatives. God, we are so fucking banned right now. Holy God.
Queer theory. No, that gets us in the good graces.
Okay. All right. Fine. Into nuclear policy, we'll redefine what we consider as threats and improve security and safety. She argues queer theory informs the struggle of nuclear justice and disarmament.
Wow.
Suggesting that focusing on emotional harm caused by nuclear weapons will lead to a safer world. This is not real.
Mike Baker.
There's no way this is real.
Yeah. Mike Baker, he's been on Joe Rogan like 3 or 4 times, former CIA spy. Dismisses Nair's approach as dangerously naive. Our adversaries don't give a rat's ass about your feelings on DEI when it comes to nuclear security. I mean, Mike Baker, he's called basically every single major conflagration of diplomacy over the past 10 years. So he knows what the hell's going on.
Yeah, and it's honestly pretty retarded to think that these nations have any respect for us if we keep representing ourselves like this. Yeah. Like that, you're basically making half of the world, if not most of the world, take aim at you.
Yes.
With your weakness, and this is just absolutely insane to see. Let's see where RFK. No RFK yet.
Still no RFK. Well, he's supposed to. It's 2. He changed it to 245.
Dude, he keeps edging us like this.
But here, we'll take a moment to hit the notifications because notifications are going to get you the alpha. You missed the Tau call, you missed the Ave call because you don't have notifications on. You need to have them on if you're on YouTube. If you're on X right now, there's a lot of people watching us on X. What's up? Give us a follow. We're trying to get our X account to 10,000 before the end of the year. But go ahead and repost this live stream. We really, really appreciate you guys. And hi to TikTok. If you're walking in to TikTok, it's free.
Are we still live on TikTok? Did they ban us?
No, that we're still
okay. Okay.
Amazing.
And this is what's playing into the price action here.
Oh, yeah. We should do mid-roll.
Oh, yeah. Fine.
The Blockchain Basement is powered by Arculus. This is the world's leading crypto cold storage where you can easily secure, buy, swap, send, and receive all your crypto with a simple tap using 3-factor authentication to make sure to keep your assets safer than ever. Make sure to support the channel. Use code BASE10 and click the link down in the description to get your hands on your security today.
There we go.
There it is.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, here it is.
Bluegrass Man says, Nick, I heard Ben today. He is nuts. Fact check true. If anyone can help me out and show me where I can look up police reports, because they're all public record, someone help me. Like, DM me on Twitter. My DMs are open. If not, hit me up in the Discord, because there are a slew of police reports that had to be filed against Ben Armstrong last week. Yeah, bro.
Oh,
this is unhinged behavior. A lot of police, and it's all public records, so we can, and I'm going to dish it, because he went on Wrecked Radio, which kind of sucks, because, like, I like those guys.
I don't even know who Wrecked Radio is.
They're a smaller upstart channel. They got 12,000 people on X.
Okay.
But their YouTube is grow. They don't have very many on YouTube. But they interviewed Ben, and he just kind of went on like an unhinged rant. Oddly enough, every time he talked about Hit Network, he started scratching his face, which is a tried and true tell that you're lying through your teeth.
Well, he knows that I want him in the ring. He's acting like, Hit Network, choose your champion. You're fucking looking at him right here. Okay, I've been asking you. I told George. I don't know what else to do.
Yeah.
You know?
And then originally he was supposed to fight Rodney, and he I guess he forgot that Rodney's like very good at fighting, and then he saw like one video of Rodney fight and he backed out of the fight. And then it was supposed to be Mind Your Biz. He's supposed to fight Mind Your Biz, and then he wouldn't fight Mind Your Biz because Ben Armstrong is a coward.
Yeah, well, I'm just sick of
he worships the devil, and he's a coward.
He compared us to Epstein Island, bro.
Oh yeah, that's libel. Like, you bet your ass there is a person with a lot of money who is going to do a libel. I know, he's so dumb.
It's so unhinged, and like, you know, calling, I'm a Cabal member. How many Cabal members drive a 2012 minivan? Yeah. I mean, ask yourself that question and then be real. Let's also address something that matters, rather than talking about a person that doesn't matter, is Jerome Powell. Inflation has declined significantly, Chair Powell says
False.
in Jacksonville. Later adding, the time has come for the policy to adjust. The direction of travel is clear.
This is so crazy. You knew he was serious because he wasn't wearing the vest.
Oh.
Last year he had the collar down, he had the vest, he had the backdrop behind
That's
him,
true.
and now he's in the Bilderberg group room just saying, yeah, guys, it's under control.
Oh.
Does anyone here in the chat believe that?
Oh, hold on.
Oh, we got RFK. Here we go.
Hold on.
Want to abandon democracy by canceling the primary to conceal the cognitive decline of the sitting president, I left the party to run as an independent. The mainstream of American politics and journalism derided my decision. Conventional wisdom said that it would be impossible even to get on the ballot as an independent because each state poses an insurmountable tangle of arbitrary rules for collecting signatures.
Yeah.
I would need over 1 million signatures, something no presidential candidate in history had ever achieved. And then I'd need a team of attorneys and millions of dollars to handle all the legal challenges from the DNC.
Yeah.
The naysayers told us that we were climbing a glass version of Mount Impossible. So the first thing I want to tell you is that we proved them wrong. We did it because beneath the radar of mainstream media organs, we inspired a massive independent political movement. More than 100,000 volunteers sprang into action, hopeful that they could reverse our nation's decline.
Yeah.
Many worked 10-hour days, sometimes in blizzards and blazing heat. They sacrificed family time, personal commitments, and sleep month after month, energized by a shared vision of a nation healed of its divisions. They set up tables at churches and farmers' markets. They canvassed door to door. In Utah and in New Hampshire, volunteers collected signatures in snowstorms.
There's almost 1 million people watching right now.
Each supporter to stop in the frigid cold, to take off their gloves, and to sign legislation. During a heat wave in Nevada, I met a tall, athletic volunteer who cheerfully told me that he had lost 25 pounds collecting signatures in 117-degree heat.
My gosh.
To finance this effort, young Americans donated their lunch money, and senior citizens gave up part of their Social Security checks. Our 50-state organization collected those millions of signatures and more. No presidential campaign in American political history has ever done that. And so I want to thank all of those dedicated volunteers and congratulate the campaign staff who coordinated this enormous logistical feat. Your accomplishments were regarded as impossible. You carried me up that glass mountain. You pulled off a miracle. You achieved what all the pundits said could never be done. You have my deepest gratitude, and I'm never going to forget that, not just for what you did for my campaign, but for the sacrifices you made because you love our country.
God, I'm so pissed
You showed
right now.
everyone that democracy is still possible here. It continues to survive in the press and in the idealistic human energies that still thrive beneath a canvas of neglect and of official and institutional corruption. Today, I'm here to tell you that I will not allow your efforts to go to waste. I'm here to tell you that I will leverage your tremendous accomplishments to serve the ideals that we share, the ideals of peace, of prosperity, of freedom, of health, all the ideals that motivated my campaign. I'm here today to describe the path forward that you have opened with your commitment and with your hard labors. Now, in an honest system, I believe that I would have won the election.
Absolutely.
In a system that kind that my father and my uncles thrived in, a system with open debates, with fair primaries, with regularly scheduled debates, with fair primaries, and with a truly independent media untainted by government propaganda and censorship. In a system of nonpartisan courts and election boards, everything would be different. After all, the polls consistently showed me beating each of the other candidates, both in favorability and also in head-to-head matchups.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry to say that while democracy may still be alive at the grassroots, it has become little more than a slogan for our political institutions,
100%.
for our media, and for our government, and most sadly at all for me, for the Democratic Party. In the name of saving democracy, the Democratic Party set itself to dismantling it, lacking confidence in its candidate, that its candidate could win in a fair election at the voting booth. The DNC waged continual legal warfare against both President Trump and myself. Each time that our volunteers turned in those towering boxes of signatures needed to get on the ballot, the DNC dragged us into court, state after state, attempting to erase their work and to subvert the will of the voters who had signed those petitions. It deployed DNC-aligned judges to throw me and other candidates off the ballot and to throw President Trump in jail. It ran a sham primary that was rigged to prevent any serious challenge to President Biden. Then, when a predictably bungled debate performance precipitated the palace coup against President Biden, the same shadowy DNC operatives appointed his successor,
Nancy Pelosi,
also
and Barack
without an
Obama.
election. They installed a candidate who was so unpopular with voters that she dropped out in 2020 without winning a single delegate. My uncle and my father
still hasn't won one.
both relished debate. They prided themselves on their capacity to go toe-to-toe with any opponent in the battle over ideas. They would be astonished to learn of a Democratic Party presidential nominee who, like Vice President Harris, has not appeared in a single interview or an unscripted encounter with voters for 35 days.
She won't.
This is profoundly undemocratic. How are people to choose when they don't know whom they are choosing? And how can this look to the rest of the world? My father and my uncle were always conscious of America's image abroad because of our nation's role as the template for democracy, the role model for democratic processes, and the leader of the free world. Instead of showing us her substance and character, the DNC and its media organs engineered a surge of popularity for Vice President Harris based upon, well, nothing. No policies, no interviews.
The perfect candidate.
No debates. Only smoke and mirrors and balloons in a highly produced Chicago circus. There in Chicago, a string of Democratic speakers mentioned Donald Trump 147 times just on the first day. Who needs a policy when you have Trump to hate?
Right.
In contrast, at the RNC convention, President Biden was mentioned only twice in 4 days. I do interviews every day. Many of you have interviewed me. Anybody who asks gets to interview me. Some days I do as many as 10. President Trump, who actually was nominated and won an election, also does interviews daily. How did the Democratic Party choose a candidate that has never done an interview or debate during the entire election cycle? We know the answers. They did it by weaponizing the government agencies. They did it by abandoning democracy.
That's what fascists
They
do.
did it by suing the opposition and by disenfranchising American voters. What most alarms me isn't how the Democratic Party conducts its internal affairs or runs its candidates. What alarms me is the resort to censorship and media control.
Just like the
and
KGB.
the weaponization of the federal agencies. When a U.S. president colludes with or outright coerces media companies to censor political speech, it's an attack on our most sacred right of free expression, and that's the very right upon which all of our other constitutional rights rest. President Biden mocked Vladimir Putin's 88% landslide in the Russian elections, observing that Putin and his party controlled the Russian press.
Yeah.
And that Putin prevented serious opponents from appearing on the ballot. But here in America, the DNC also prevented opponents from appearing on the ballot.
Boom, boom.
And our television networks exposed themselves as Democratic Party organs. Over the course of more than a year, in a campaign where my poll numbers reached at times in the high 20s, the DNC-allied mainstream media networks maintain a near perfect embargo on interviews with me.
Yeah.
During his 10-month presidential campaign in 1992, Ross Perot gave 34 interviews on mainstream networks.
Wow.
In contrast, during the 16 months since I declared, ABC, NBC, CBS, MSNBC, and CNN combined gave only 2 live interviews from me. Those networks instead ran a continuous deluge of hit pieces with inaccurate, often vile, pejoratives and defamatory smears. Some of those same networks and colluded with the DNC to keep me off the debate stage. Representatives of those networks are in this room right now, and I'll just take a moment to ask you to consider the many ways that your institutions have abdicated this really sacred responsibility, the duty of a free press to safeguard democracy and to challenge always the party in power. Instead of maintaining that posture of fierce skepticism toward authority, your institutions have made themselves government mouthpieces and stenographers for the organs of power. You didn't alone cause the devolution of American democracy, but you could have prevented it.
Oh, shit.
The Democratic Party's censorship of social media was even more of a naked exercise of executive power. This week, a federal judge, Terry Doty, upheld my injunction against President Biden, calling the White House's censorship project, quote, the most egregious violation of the First Amendment in the history of the United States of America.
He's got receipts. He has all the receipts.
155-page decision details how just 37 hours after he took the oath of office, swearing to uphold the Constitution, President Biden and his White House opened up a portal and then invited the CIA, the FBI, CISA, which is a censorship agency, it's the center of the censorship industrial complex, DHS, the IRS, and other agencies to censor me and other political dissidents on social media. Even today, users who try to post my campaign videos to Facebook or YouTube get messages that this content violates community standards. 2 days after Judge Doty rendered his decision this week, Facebook was still attaching warning labels to an online petition calling on ABC to include me in the upcoming debate. They said that violates community standards, their community standards. The mainstream media was once the guardian of the First Amendment and democratic principles, and it's joined this systemic attack on democracy. It also, the media justifies their censorship on the grounds of combating misinformation, but governments and oppressors don't censor lies. They don't fear lies. They fear the truth, and that's what they censor. And I don't want any of this to sound like a personal complaint, because it's not. For me, it's all part of a journey, and it's a journey that I signed up with. But I need to make these observations because I think they're critical for us doing the thing that we need to do as citizens in a democracy to assess where we are in this country and what our democracy still looks like, and the assumptions about U.S. leadership around the globe. And are we really still a role model for democracy in this country?
V for Vendetta.
Or have we made it, a kind of me a critical platform. They didn't shut down my ideas, which have especially flourished among young voters and independent voters, thanks to the alternative media. Many months ago, I promised the American people that I would withdraw from the race if I became a spoiler. A spoiler is someone who will alter the outcome of the election but has no chance of winning. In my heart, I no longer believe that I have a realistic path to electoral victory in the face of this relentless, systematic censorship and media control. So I cannot in good conscience ask my staff and volunteers to keep working their long hours or ask my donors to keep giving when I cannot honestly tell them that I have a real path to the White House. Furthermore, our polling consistently showed that by staying on the ballot in the battleground states, I would likely hand the election over to the Democrats.
Oh, crap.
With whom I disagree on the most existential issues: censorship, war, and chronic disease. Oh, I want everyone to know that I am not terminating my campaign. I am simply suspending it and not ending it. My name will remain on the ballot in most states. If you live in a blue state, you can vote for me without harming or helping President Trump or Vice President Harris. In red states, the same will apply. I encourage you to vote for me. And if enough of you do vote for me, and neither of the major party candidates win 270 votes, which is quite possible. In fact, today our polling shows them tying at 269 to 269. And I could conceivably still end up in the White House in a contingent election. But in about 10 battleground states where my presence would be a spoiler, I'm going to remove my name. And I've already started that process and urge voters not to vote for me. It's with a sense of victory and not defeat that I'm suspending my campaign activities. Not only did we do the impossible by collecting 1 million signatures, we changed the national political conversation forever.
Yeah, he did.
Chronic disease, free speech, government corruption, breaking our addiction to war have moved to the center of politics. I can say to all who have worked so hard the last year and a half, thank you for a job well done. 3 great causes drove me to enter this race in the first place, primarily. And these are the principal causes that persuaded me to leave the Democratic Party and run as an independent. And now to throw my support to President Trump. The causes were free speech, a war in Ukraine, and the war on our children. I've already described some of my personal experiences and struggles with the government's censorship industrial complex. I want to say a word about
Is it really
the
happening?
War.
Dude. Is it about to happen?
The military-industrial complex has provided us with a familiar comic book justification like they do on every war. That this one is a noble effort to stop a supervillain, Vladimir Putin, from invading the Ukraine and then to thwart his Hitler-like march across Europe. In fact, tiny Ukraine is a proxy in a geopolitical struggle initiated by the ambitions of the U.S. neocons for American global hegemony. I'm not excusing Putin for invading Ukraine. He had other options. But the war is Russia's predictable response to the reckless neocon project of extending NATO to encircle Russia, a hostile act.
Bingo.
The credulous media rarely explain to Americans that we unilaterally walked away from 2 intermediate nuclear weapons treaties with Russia and then put nuclear-ready Aegis missile systems in Romania and Poland.
Yep.
This is a hostile act. And that the Biden White House repeatedly spurned Russia's offer to settle this war peacefully. The Ukraine war began in 2014 when U.S. agencies overthrew the democratically elected government of Ukraine. And installed a hand-picked pro-Western government that launched this deadly civil war against ethnic Russians in Ukraine. In 2019, America walked away from a peace treaty, the Minsk Agreement, that had been negotiated between Russia and Ukraine by European nations. And then in April of 2022, we wanted the war. In April of 2022, President Biden sent Boris Johnson to Ukraine to force President Zelensky to tear up a peace agreement that he and the Russians had already signed, and the Russians were withdrawing troops from Kiev and Donbass and Lugansk. And that peace agreement would have brought peace to the region and would have allowed Donbass and Lugansk to remain part of Ukraine. President Biden stated that month that his objective in the war was regime change in Russia. His Defense Secretary, Lloyd Austin, simultaneously explained that America's purpose in the war was to exhaust the Russian army, to degrade its capacity to fight anywhere else in the world. These objectives, of course, have nothing to do with what they were telling Americans about protecting Ukraine's sovereignty. Ukraine is a victim in this war, and it's a victim of the West. Mm-hmm. Since then, of Russia and both Russia and the West. Since then, we have, since tearing up that agreement, forcing Zelensky to tear up the agreement, we've squandered the flower of Ukrainian youth, as many as 600,000 Ukrainian kids, and over 100,000 Russian kids, all of whom we should be mourning, have died, and the Ukraine's infrastructure is destroyed. The war has been a disaster for our country as well. We squandered nearly $200 billion already, and these are badly needed dollars in our communities, suffering communities all over our country. The Nord Stream pipeline sabotage and the sanctions have destroyed Europe's industrial base, which formed the bulwark of U.S. national security. A strong Germany with a strong industry is a much, much stronger deterrent to Russia, and a Germany that is deindustrialized and turned into just an extension of U.S. military base. Mm-hmm. We've pushed Russia into a disastrous alliance with China and Iran. We're closer to the brink of nuclear exchange than at any time since 1962. And the neocons in the White House don't seem to care at all. Our moral authority and our economy are in shambles, and the war gave rise to the emergence of BRICS, which now threatens to replace the dollar as the global reserve currency. This is a first-class calamity for our country. Judging by her bellicose, belligerent speech last night in Chicago, we can assume that President Harris will be an enthusiastic advocate for this and other neocon military adventures. Yeah. And President Trump says that he will reopen negotiations with President Putin and end the war overnight as soon as he becomes president. This alone would justify my support for his campaign.
Holy crap.
Last summer, it looked like no candidate was willing to negotiate a quick end to the Ukraine
Holy
war.
smokes.
To tackle chronic disease epidemic, to protect free speech, our constitutional freedoms, to clean corporate influence out of our government, or to defy the neocons and their agenda of endless military adventurism. But now one of the two candidates has adopted these issues as his own, to the point where he has asked to enlist me in his administration.
Oh, shit.
I'm speaking, of course, of Donald Trump. Less than 2 hours after President Trump narrowly escaped assassination, Callie Means called me on my cell phone. I was then in Las Vegas. Callie is arguably the leading advocate for food safety, for soil regeneration, and for ending the chronic disease epidemic that is destroying America's health and ruining our economy. Callie has exposed the insidious corruption at the FDA, the NIH, the HHS, and the USDA that has caused the epidemic. Callie had been working on and off for my campaign, advising me on those subjects since the beginning. And those subjects have been my primary focus for the last 20 years. I was delighted when Callie told me that day that he had also been advising President Trump. He told me President Trump was anxious to talk to me about chronic disease and other subjects, and to explore avenues of cooperation. He asked if I would take a call from the president. President Trump telephoned me a few minutes later. Oh my God. And I met with him the following day.
Whoa.
A few weeks later, I met again with President Trump and his family members and close advisors in Florida. In a series of long, intense discussions, I was surprised to discover that we are aligned on many key issues. In those meetings, he suggested that we join forces as a unity party. We talked about Abraham Lincoln's team of rivals. That arrangement would allow us to disagree publicly and privately, and fiercely if need be, on issues over which we differ, while working together on the existential issues upon which we are in concordance. I was a ferocious critic of many of the policies during his first administration, and there are still issues and approaches upon which we continue to have very serious differences. But we are aligned with each other on other key issues,
This
like
is
ending
so
the forever
important.
wars, ending the childhood disease epidemics, securing the border, protecting freedom of speech, unraveling the corporate capture of our regulatory agencies, getting the U.S. intelligence agencies out of the business of propagandizing and censoring and surveilling Americans and interfering with our elections. Following my first discussion with President Trump, I tried unsuccessfully to open similar discussions with Vice President Harris. Vice President Harris declined to meet or even to speak with me.
Of course.
Suspending my candidacy is a heart-rending decision for me, but I'm convinced that it's the best hope for ending the Ukraine war and ending the chronic disease epidemic that is eroding our nation's vitality from the inside, and for finally protecting free speech. I feel a moral obligation to use this opportunity to save millions of American children above all things. In case some of you don't realize how dire the condition is of our children's health and chronic disease in general,
Dude, this
I would
is so
urge you
insane.
to view Dr. Carlson's recent interview with Callie Means and his sister, Dr. Casey Means, who is the top graduate
an incredible
of her
episode. You
class
have to
at
watch
Stanford Medical School. This is an issue that affects all of us far more directly and urgently than any culture war issue, and all the other issues that we obsess on and that are tearing apart our country. This is the most important issue. Therefore, it has the potential to bring us together. So let me share a little bit about why I believe it's so urgent. Today, 2/3, we spend more on healthcare than any country on earth, twice what they pay in Europe.
Yep.
And yet we have the worst health outcomes of any nation.
Correct.
We're about 79th in health outcomes behind Costa Rica and Nicaragua and Mongolia and other countries.
Good God.
Nobody has a chronic disease burden like we have. And during the
Terrible.
COVID epidemic,
That's
we had
awful.
the highest body count of any country in the world. We had 16% of the COVID deaths, and we only have 4.2% of the world's population. And CDC says that's because we are the sickest people on earth. We have the highest chronic disease rate on earth. And the average American who died from COVID had 3.8 chronic diseases. So these were people who had immune system collapse.
I thought Obamacare
who
was
had
gonna fix all this.
mitochondrial dysfunction. And no other country has anything like this. 2/3 of American adults and children suffer from chronic health issues. 50 years ago, that number was less than 1%.
Yep.
So we've
Absolutely.
gone from 1% to 66%. In America, 74% of Americans are now overweight or obese, and 50% of our children. 120 years ago, when somebody was obese, they were sent to the circus. There were case reports done about them. Obesity was almost unknown. In Japan, the childhood obesity rate is 3%, compared to 50% a year.
50%.
Half of Americans have pre-diabetes or type 2 diabetes.
Yeah.
When my uncle was president, I was a boy, juvenile diabetes was effectively non-existent. A typical pediatrician would see one case of diabetes during his entire career, a 40 or 50-year career.
Chuck Dennis says his knowledge offhand is
One
impressive.
out of every 3 kids who walks through
'Cause he's a real American.
is diabetic or pre-diabetic. And the mitochondrial disorder that causes diabetes also causing Alzheimer's, which is now classified as diabetes.
Yeah.
And it's costing this country more than our military budget every year. There's been an explosion of neurological illnesses that I never saw as a kid: ADD, ADHD, speech delay, language delay, Tourette's syndrome, narcolepsy, ASD, Asperger's, autism. In the year 2000, the autism rate was 1 in 1,500. Now autism rates in kids are 1 in 36, according to CDC nationally. Nobody's talking about this.
No.
1 in every 22 kids in California has autism. And this is a crisis that 77% of our kids are too disabled to serve in the United States military.
Yep.
What is happening to our country? And why isn't this in the headlines every single day?
For real.
There's nobody else in the world that is experiencing this. This is only happening in America. About 18%, and by the way, you know, there has been no change in diagnosis, which the industry sometimes like to say.
Yeah.
There has been no change in screening. This is a change in incidence. In my generation, 70-year-old men, the autism rates are about 1 in 10,000. In my kids' generation, 1 in 34. I'll repeat, in California, 1 in 22. Why are we letting this happen? Why are we allowing this to happen to our children? These are the most precious assets that we have in this country. How can we let this happen to them? About 18% of American teens now have fatty liver disease. That's like 1 out of every 5. That disease, when I was a kid, only affected late-stage alcoholics who were elderly. Cancer rates are skyrocketing in the young and the old. Young adult cancers are up 79%.
Mm-hmm.
1 in 4 American women is on antidepressant medication. 40% of teens have a mental health diagnosis.
I think it's higher for women, actually.
15% of high schoolers are on Adderall, and 500,000 children on SSRIs. So what's causing this suffering? I'll name 2 culprits.
Here we go.
First, and the worst, is ultra-processed food.
Fuck yeah.
About 70% of American children's diet is ultra-processed. That means industrial manufactured in a factory. These foods consist primarily of processed sugar, ultra-processed grains, and seed oils. Laboratory scientists.
He said seed oils.
Many of them formerly worked for the cigarette industry, which purchased all the big food companies in the 1970s and 80s. Employed thousands of scientists to figure out new chemicals to make the food more addictive. And these ingredients didn't exist 100 years ago. Humans aren't biologically adapted to eat them. Hundreds of these chemicals are now banned in Europe, but ubiquitous in American processed foods. The second culprit is toxic chemicals in our food, in our medicine, in our environment. Pesticides, food additives, pharmaceutical drugs, and toxic waste permeate every cell of our bodies.
True.
The assault on our children's cells and hormones is unrelenting. And name just one problem. Many of these chemicals increase estrogen because young children are ingesting so many of these hormone disruptors. America's puberty rate is now occurring at age 10 to 13, which is
for women.
6 years earlier than girls were reaching puberty in 1900. Our country has the earliest puberty rates of any continent on the earth. And no, this isn't because of better nutrition. This is not normal. Breast cancer is also estrogen driven, and it now strikes 1 in 8 women.
Wow.
We are mass poisoning all of our children and our adults. Considering the grievous human cost of this tragic epidemic of chronic disease, it seems almost crass to mention the damage it does to our economy. But I'll say, it is crippling the nation's finances. When my uncle was president, our country spent $0 on chronic disease.
There we go.
Today, government health care spending is almost all for chronic disease. And it's double the military budget. And it is the fastest growing budget item in the federal budget. And chronic disease costs more to the economy as a whole, costs at least $4 trillion, 5 times our military budget. And that's a 20% drag on everything we do and everything we aspire to.
God.
Poor and minority communities suffer disproportionately. People who worry about DEI or about bigotry of any kind, this dwarfs anything. We are poisoning the poor. We are systematically poisoning minorities across this country.
True. It's 100% correct. And it's been that way since the 60s.
Food stamp lunch program, about
Eating the little ones.
70% of food stamps and about 70 or 77% of school lunches are processed foods. There's no vegetables.
Nope.
There's nothing that you would want to eat.
Some cardboard pizza.
We are just poisoning the poor citizens, and that's why they have the highest chronic disease burden of anybody, any demographic in our country, and the highest in the world.
Highest suicide
The same
rate.
food industry lobbied to make sure that
I know.
nearly all agricultural subsidies
Tube, you may have to.
are the feedstock of processed food industry. These policies are destroying small farms, and they're destroying our soils. We give about, I think, 8 times as much in subsidies to tobacco than we do to fruits and vegetables. It makes no sense. If we want a healthy country, the good news is that we can change all this. We can change it very, very quickly. America can get healthy again. To do that, we need to do 3 things. First, we need to root out the corruption in our health agencies. Second, we need to change incentives in our healthcare system. And third, we need to inspire Americans to get healthy again. 80% of NIH grants go to people who have conflicts of interest. These are the people, virtually everybody who sits...
It's a revolving door. FDA, Big Pharma, Big Food, FDA.
A new panel to NIH to decide the food recommendations. And they're all people who are from the industry. They're all people who are from the processed food companies.
Death machine.
Yeah.
They're deciding what Americans, hear is healthy. And the recommendations on the food pyramid and what goes to
What a
our
scam.
school lunch
Food
programs,
pyramid.
what go to the program, the Swiss program, the food stamp programs. They are all corrupted and conflicted individuals.
Absolutely.
These agencies, the FDA, USDA, and CDC, all of them are controlled by
We are
giant
mooning like
for-profit
crazy right now.
corporations. 75% of the FDA's funding doesn't come from taxpayer, it comes from pharma.
Yep. That's true.
Pharma executives and consultants and lobbyists cycle in and out of these agencies with President Trump's backing. I'm going to change that. We're going to staff these agencies with honest scientists and doctors who are free from industry funding. We're going to make sure the decisions of consumers, doctors, and patients are informed by unbiased science. A sick child is the best thing for the pharmaceutical industry. American children or adults get sick with a chronic condition. They're put on medication for their entire life. Imagine what will happen when Medicare starts paying for Ozempic, which costs $1,500 a month, and it's being recommended for children as young as 6.
Yep.
It's disgusting.
All for a condition, obesity, that is completely preventable.
Yes.
And barely even existed 100 years ago.
Yep.
And 74% of Americans are obese. The cost, if all of them took their Ozempic prescription, is $3 trillion a year. This is a drug that is made by Novo Nordisk, the biggest company in Europe. It's a Danish company, and
Dropping
the Danish
names.
government does not recommend it. It recommends
lighting
changing
them
diet
up
to treat obesity and exercise. And in our country, the recommendation now is for Ozempic to children at age 6. Novo Nordisk is the biggest company in Europe, and virtually its entire value is based upon its projections of what it's going to sell, of the Ozempic it's going to sell to America.
Yeah.
And we have the food lobbyists have a bill in front of Congress today that is backed by the White House, backed by Vice President Harris and President Biden to allow this to happen. This $3 trillion cost that is going to bankrupt our country. For a fraction of that amount, we could buy organic food for every American family, 3 meals a day, and eliminate diabetes altogether.
And hunger.
We're going to bring healthy food back to school lunches.
Yes.
We're going to stop subsidizing the worst foods with our agricultural subsidies. We're going to get toxic chemicals out of our food.
This is shitting all over Jim Waltz.
And for that, we need new leadership
Tim,
in
sorry.
Washington.
Sorry, Tim Waltz. Yeah.
Because unfortunately, both the Democrats and the Republican parties are in cahoots with the big food producers, Big Pharma and Big Ag, which are among the DNC's major donors. Vice President Harris has expressed no interest in addressing this issue. 4 more years of Democratic rule will complete the consolidation of corporate and neocon power.
Oh, God.
And our children will be the ones who suffer most. I got involved with chronic disease 20 years ago, not because I chose to or wanted to. It was essentially thrust upon me. It was an issue that should have been central to the environmental movement. I was a central leader at that time, but it was widely ignored by all the institutions, including the NGOs, who should have been protecting our kids against toxins.
Yep.
It was an orphaned issue, and I had a weakness for orphans. I watched generations of children get sicker and sicker. I had 11 siblings, and I had 7 kids myself. I was conscious of what was happening in their classrooms and to their friends, and I watched these sick
what a
kids,
giga chad.
damaged kids. In that generation, almost all of them are damaged. And nobody in power seemed to care or to even notice. For 19 years, I prayed every morning that God would put me in a position to end this calamity. The chronic disease crisis was one of the primary reasons for my running for president, along with ending censorship in the Ukraine war. It's the reason I've made the heart-wrenching decision to suspend my campaign and to support President Trump. This decision I think for me because of my wife and my children and my friends. But I have the certainty that this is what I've meant to do. And that certainty gives me internal peace, even in storms. If I'm given the chance to fix the chronic disease crisis and reform our food production, I promise that within 2 years, we will watch chronic disease burden lift dramatically. We will make Americans healthy again. Within 4 years, America will be a healthy country.
Hell yeah.
We will be stronger, more resilient, more optimistic, and happier. I won't fail in doing this. Ultimately, the future, however it happens, is in God's hands and in the hands of the American voters and those of President Trump. If President Trump is elected and honors his word, the vast burden of chronic disease that now demoralizes and bankrupts the country will disappear. This is a spiritual journey for me. I reached my decision through deep prayer, through hard-nosed logic, and I asked myself, what choices must I make to maximize my chances to save America's children and restore national health? I felt that if I refused this opportunity, I would not be able to look myself in the mirror. Knowing that I could have saved lives.
That's what duty means, folks. That's duty.
And reverse this country's chronic disease epidemic. I'm 70 years old. I may have a decade to be effective. I can't imagine that President Harris would allow me or anyone to solve these dire problems.
My God.
After 8 years of President Harris, any opportunity for me to fix the problem will be out of my reach forever. President Trump has told me that he wants this to be his legacy. I'm choosing to believe that this time he will follow through. His son, his biggest donors, his closest friends, and all support this objective. My joining the Trump campaign will be a difficult sacrifice for my wife and children, but worthwhile if there's even a small chance of saving these kids.
That's amazing.
Ultimately, the only thing that will save our country and our children is if we choose to love our kids more than we hate each other.
Bro.
That's why I launched my campaign.
Bro.
My dad and uncle made such an enduring mark on the character of our nation, not so much because of any particular policies that they promoted, but because they were able to inspire profound love for our country and to fortify our sense of ourselves as a national community held together by ideals. They were able to put their love into the intentions and hearts of ordinary Americans and to unify a national populist movement of Americans, blacks and whites, Hispanics, urban and rural Americans. They inspired affection and love and high hopes and a culture of kindness that continue to radiate among Americans from their memory. That's the spirit on which I ran my campaign and that I intend to bring into the campaign of President Trump. Instead of vitriol and polarization, I will appeal to the values that unite us, the goals that we could achieve if only we weren't at each other's throats. The most unifying theme for all Americans is that we all love our children. If we all unite around that issue now, we can finally give them the protection, the health, and the future that they deserve. Thank you all very much.
Wow. That was absolutely incredible, man. Dude. Bro. Oh my God. We are back. Now we just need to make sure we have an election,
we are
right?
back.
Like, this is the thing. It's like, oh God, there's so much hope now. Like, so much hope. Did you take profits on that long you were in?
I don't know. I mean,
hold on. We need to check the charts here, probably.
We're like flirting with 64.
Oh my God, dude. Look at the candle. Look at the candle.
Guys, if you are not pumped up, that there's so much to say right now. RFK is the embodiment of what our leadership in America used to be like.
Yeah, man. Like, and we need to love our kids more than we hate each other. What a line.
What a line. And he was just astute.
Holy shit.
I mean, the guy is presidential. I can't. And someone said, like, what he's talking about, I would die for.
Yeah.
You may have to.
You literally may have to.
Everyone should have that mindset because what RFK just did is he completely threw the chessboard up in the air.
Yeah. Well, and I posted this morning, Jesus flipped the tables over.
Jesus flipped the tables. That's what RFK just did.
He's not a big old wuss. Everyone says that Jesus was a wuss. He's not a wuss. He's hardcore, man. Like, Jesus fucking, he let him have it a few times.
The more he spoke, the more full I was. Actually, I had this tingling in my chest, and I'm like, wait, what is this? What is this feeling? And it was patriotism,
dude.
I hadn't felt that.
I feel pumped up. I hadn't
felt that in years.
I feel great. Well, I'm gonna sit here and wait for a chance for this cool off, but I'm gonna put another long in because we are about to go to the fucking moon,
bro. I'm riding this. I'm in profit, but I'm not closing out.
Okay,
until 67.
67.
Wait, what is the next level? Let's.
All right, let's pull it up here. Let's pull it up here.
God, I'm so stoked right
well, and
now.
we're gonna have to back
crap.
up a bit to get the volume profile to update. So we're getting up here. It's gonna be 64.9 is the peak of this kind of shorter term. Let's back up more. Yeah, I mean, right around there, 64.5. 64.5 is probably going to be some headwinds there. So, wow, what an incredible day! What an incredible
historic
day.
Thanks to all y'all for hanging out with us. And
and you know what? We've been packing our bags in the best products, the best projects out there. You know what? And if you want to support us even more, you want to take power, become your own bank, go ahead and support our channel even more by picking up one of these bad boys on our table here. This is the Arculus cold storage wallet. You can become your own bank. You can buy crypto, get it off an exchange, and then hold it for yourself like an absolute giga chad. Take the power away from the Federal Reserve, put the power into Bitcoin and self-custody, become sovereign, go grow your own food. Go start a garden. I have 3 gardens, and they're making lots of food for me. Lots of eggs are coming out.
Yeah.
The chickens are taking over the neighborhood. So
Gosh. I envy your chickens, but I do have a pretty awesome peach tree that I will.
I am jealous of
barter.
that. I have had 3 peach trees fail me, so I'm still trying to get the peach trees up. But appreciate every single one of you for hanging out with us, watching that historic Robert F. Kennedy Jr. speech. Now it looks like he's joining forces with the orange one, and I am so here for it.
We are so back,
dude. We are so back.
Crypto's back. America's back.
Yeah,
Drew on his gains again.
Now I trimmed out, and now I'm gonna bulk up again.
Now he's bulk. Yeah, you're back. Your bulk is back.
My bulk is back.
I love it.
Robert Kennedy in the chat, Romans 8:31, Chemistry Bro, David Middleton, Jeff Rice, Zeke 1103, Jim.
Was that the Robert Kennedy?
No, I doubt it. Gaddafi, XRP Rails, JT. We got to figure out our villages visit, JT.
I know.
You got to also let Nick know about the loofah thing. Sufficient enough.
I'm scared.
Senza, Nathan Roth, Bad Fox, of course. KO Kev, RC Rex down in the Rumble chat. We got 2 Bros Mining, Deadwood, all the other wonderful people that support this channel.
Love it.
And shout out to everyone on X. Retweet it, like it, help us build that presence.
Almost 700 people watching us right now.
We're cooking on X, bro. So
X loves us. X gonna give it to you.
We're gonna figure out. We're not gonna leave YouTube. I'm gonna still try to fight through this damn whatever they have suppression on our channel. I don't care. I'm not giving up. Because there's a lot of people in the UK that don't get access to Rumble and stuff like that, and they don't know where to. I mean, I tell them where to find us on X, but Blockchain Basement on X, Rumble, you can find us everywhere, folks. We're not giving up on you. We're not giving up on this country. We're not giving up on our kids. We ain't giving up on a damn thing. We are here to fight to the death, and I appreciate all of you. I'm gonna go hit the bag and feel amazing. Take care.
Later.